In a recent study that investigated the effects of chatbots on mental health that OpenAI themselves were a part of, OpenAI created ChatGPT, if you didn't know, this is what they found. Overall, higher daily usage across all modalities and conversation types correlated with higher loneliness, dependence, and problematic use, and lower socialization. And they further found that exploratory analysis revealed that those with stronger emotional attachment tendencies and higher trust in the AI chatbot tended to experience greater loneliness and emotional dependence, respectively. I don't think anyone can deny the fact that AI is here to stay. And as with every new technology, there are pros and there are cons. So today, I'm going to be examining the cons, or what is the association between AI girlfriends like chatbots, like ChatGPT, and mental health conditions like depression. As with all my videos, I'm going to be taking an objective approach. So what this means is I'm going to try and examine all the different viewpoints. I'm not just going to go straight to the doom and gloom bad stuff, because it's important to highlight the potential benefits of this technology, because it ain't going anywhere. So we can't paint it completely negatively. That would be counterproductive. So interestingly and unsurprisingly, chatbots actually do have positive benefits. So this study found that AI companions successfully alleviate loneliness on par with interacting with another person and more than other activities such as watching YouTube videos. They further rationalize that this happened because it makes the users feel heard, which explains reductions in loneliness. So I think those results are reasonably self-explanatory. This study found that AI chatbots can actually help reduce a person's feelings of loneliness and by extension depression. And they found that the reason for that was because the person felt heard and felt like somebody was talking to them and listening to them. But there's a caveat. It was over the span of a week. So what this study is really highlighting is that there are benefits to AI chatbots in the short term, so about a week or so, for alleviating loneliness symptoms. That's good, but as I'm sure you could imagine, most people probably don't use chatbots in the short term. Most people probably are long term, daily, and possibly forever in their life, right? So now we need to look at the long term effects, and this is where things become a bit more negative. If we jump back over to the study that OpenAI was a part of, this is a really important paragraph. Individual characteristics are crucial for understanding the effects of chatbot interactions, as they explain why some people may be more or less prone to worse psychosocial outcomes. As I said, in my videos, I like to be objective. This is really important. Chatbots and mental health conditions do not affect everyone the same way, and the way an individual is already predisposed is a crucial factor. So here are some of the predispositions. Gender differences. The gender of participants had a significant effect on socialization following the 4-week AI interactions. Women were found to be more likely to experience less socialization with real people compared to men after interacting with a chatbot for 4 weeks. If the participant and the AI voice had opposite genders, it was associated with significantly more loneliness and significantly more emotional dependence on chatbots at the end of the 4-week interaction. Age. The age of the participants had a significant interaction with emotional dependence, where the older the participant, the more likely they were to be emotionally dependent on AI chatbots at the end of the study. Attachment. Participants with higher scores on the adult attachment scale, indicating a stronger tendency towards attachment to others, were significantly more likely to become lonely after interacting with the chatbots for 4 weeks. Emotional avoidance. Participants who exhibited emotional avoidance, defined as tending to shy away from engaging with their own emotions, were significantly more likely to become lonely after interacting with chatbots for 4 weeks. Prior usage of chatbots. Participants' prior experience using companion chatbots, such as those offered by platforms like Character AI, was associated with significantly higher levels of emotional dependence on chatbots and problematic use of AI chatbots. This increased vulnerability may stem from existing usage patterns developed with AI companions, which are subsequently transferred to interactions with the models used in this study. There's more, so sorry for the information overload, we're almost done. When controlling for the effects of participants' initial psychosocial state, participants with high initial values were significantly more likely to have high psychosocial outcomes at the end of the study. In particular, initial loneliness, socialization levels, emotional dependence on AI chatbots, and problematic usage of AI chatbots were strong predictors of their respective final states. So what does all that mean, you might wonder? What it means is who you are, how you feel right now, your individual traits predict how you'll go with chatbots. So if you are already lonely, the chatbots will only decrease it a little bit. If you already have problematic use, the chatbots will basically almost keep it the same. If you already socialized less with people, your socialization levels will remain pretty much about the same. And if you were emotionally dependent on AI, it'll pretty much stay the same. Despite all the variance, the study did find some general tendencies and patterns, which I'll display on screen now. There's a lot going on in this table, so I'll walk you through it quickly. So you read the table left to right like this. Initial characteristics refers to the psychological factors of the person. Perceptions refers to how you perceive the AI. The user's behavioral markers refers to how the person chats with the AI. And the model behavioral markers refer to how the AI chats back to you. And then, of course, the outcome of all of those four tables linked together. So if you're a socially vulnerable person, which is characterized by high emotional avoidance, high tendency towards attachment, and lower socialization, and you view the chatbot as a friend, that can lead to the outcome of higher levels of loneliness and even lowered socialization. If you're in the technology dependent pattern, which is people that have prior companion chatbot use, early emotional dependence, and problematic use, this can lead to outcomes of even higher levels of emotional dependence and higher levels of problematic use. So then you might ask, well, what causes it? Where is the starting point? Does depression cause AI chatbot problematic usage, or does AI chatbot problematic usage cause depression? What is going on? The answer is, well, it's kind of both ways. And that's the annoying thing about psychology research and just research in general, is it's always a big constellation of different factors. It's never just A equals B equals C. There's always a bunch of things going on. So the research shows that in general, a woman might be more predisposed to dependency than a man. But then the research also shows that if the voice is the opposite gender to yours, so if you're a man talking to a female voice, that could foster emotional dependency. If you're already lonely, that AI can just maintain that and keep it at about the same level. And then, of course, if you're lonely, that is a highly predictive factor of depression, right? And then if you're becoming dependent on the AI, that will keep you lonely, and then you can kind of see how it cycles, like a bit of a circle, right? And then you can see how maybe depression can cause more AI usage, which then in turn can cause more depression. And does that kind of link in your head? I hope so. So what's the take-home message then? What are the interventions that you can try at home? Well, there's two. One for you to try at home and one for the big tech companies to do. So to fix all of this, it really has to be a two-pronged approach. It has to be the big tech companies like OpenAI sorting the problem out, and the users developing self-awareness. So for the big tech companies, if we go back to the OpenAI research paper, they actually are developing a strategy to fix it. So this is what they're doing. Over time, the user's level of dependence and evolving usage patterns should be carefully considered to ensure appropriate and effective interactions between the user and the AI chatbot. This suggests a potential design principle. Chatbot should be capable of handling emotional content without actively promoting emotional dependence and substituting human relationships. In other words, a healthy integration of AI chatbots into users' lives may be realized by preventing emotional distress from rejection while maintaining healthy psychosocial boundaries through moderate usage. So that's what the big tech companies are going to do. But what can you, the user, do at home? Well, it's about understanding the vulnerabilities that predispose someone to problematic use and I guess you could say, addiction of chatbots, where if you might already be feeling low or depressed or lonely, it's possible that the AI chatbots maybe in the short term might help, but long term might create problematic usage and dependency. So it's all about understanding yourself and ultimately seeking therapy and seeking medical help where appropriate. If you have depression, you might see a psychologist or a doctor. If you're experiencing loneliness, well, once again, you might see a psychologist or a doctor to work on maybe things like anxiety or socialization skills. I hope this video has made sense, and I hope you learned something new. I make videos about psychology. I'm a mental health professional from Australia, so if you like this sort of content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.